I didn't want to come back because you freaked out.
Yeah.
And I got to hear it first.
Mic
It's
check,
just
1, 2, 3,
for the
4.
problem hearing it.
Check, 1, 2, audio check.
All right, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'd like to call this Board of Selectmen meeting on June 23rd, 2022 at 6:01 p.m. to order. First, I'd like to congratulate John Dykstra, our newest member, on his election. And I'd like to congratulate Sheila on her re-election to the Board of Selectmen.
Thank you. And thanks to all the people who voted.
Yes,
Indeed.
thank you. Number 2, approve the June 9th, 2022 Selectmen meeting minutes.
So move. Second.
All in favor? Do you have a,
I do, but I need to abstain.
that's
I
right, you
wasn't-
can't,
yeah,
you weren't
yeah,
here.
yeah, sorry.
So it's
4.
4-0, Yanina. This is number 3, the public forum. This is an opportunity for anyone who wants to address the Board of Selectmen with any issues not on this agenda. And I see our assessor, Becky Nolet, would like to speak with us this evening.
Yes. Good evening. I hope this is on and you can
Really
hear.
close.
Really
Get
close.
Take
All
it
right,
in
I'll
your
try-
hand. Take it right in your hand.
Can I take it off?
Pretend you're a pop star.
Sure. Okay, how's that? Is that good? All right. So Ed introduced me. I am Becky Nolet. I am the tax assessor for the town of Kennebunkport. So what I am here to say tonight is just to kind of give you guys a status update on the market adjustment, to let you know that Vision and myself have finished the analysis and all the data entry of the new values, and the notices of new values were mailed out yesterday to all of the residents. And I have posted all the information regarding the market adjustment on our website. On the front page of our website, there is a button that is marked Market Adjustment, and there is also a button right next to it that is Assessor's Database. That button will bring you to the Vision Government Solutions website where you can print out your property record card with your new value. The market adjustment button will bring you to a page that has frequently asked questions. We have a narrated PowerPoint by me, a non-narrated one, a document to read, how to schedule your informal review, should you want one. So it's got a wealth of information. The new values are also posted on the website for people to look in a PDF format and also in an Excel format. So I tried to get as much information out there on the website as I possibly could in case any residents or anybody had any questions. So just giving you a status update.
Thank you, Becky.
I'd
Okay.
just like to compliment your work on getting the FLAC particularly, and the narrated FLAC is fantastic.
Okay, thank you.
I think everyone needs to go there and look at it, and I love having the numbers. I've been crunching graphs already, so.
All right.
Thank you for everything you do.
All right, you're welcome.
I believe there's somebody in the Zoom audience that wishes to speak this evening. Am I correct?
We have 3 people who wish to speak.
Okay, well, go ahead and put one of them up at a time.
Palmer Higgins, you can speak.
Terrific. Thank you. Can you guys hear me okay? Hello?
I can't hear him.
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Just give us a second. The room.
Okay.
Sounds up at 100.
What's your question? And I'll just forward it on to them.
There we go.
Well, it's a bit of a,
Never mind. We can hear you now.
oh, great. All right. Well, my name is Palmer Higgins. Appreciate you all letting me talk here. Apologies I can't be in person. I didn't know about this meeting until today and couldn't work it in my schedule to be there in person, but glad Zoom is an option here. By way of background, I'm the president of Mainly Grass, a local lawn care and pest control company here in Maine, and we serve predominantly residential customers throughout Maine, including Kennebunkport. And the reason I wanted to speak today is that to you all, the Board of Selectmen, is that I understand that an ordinance pertaining to the professional use of fertilizers and pesticides developed by the Conservation Commission is soon to be or on its way to be proposed to the board shortly in preparation for, I believe, a November resident vote. And I've been sitting in the Conservation Commission meetings on the topic for about 6 months since they've started the working group, and wanted to share concerns I have about the process by which the ordinance has been drafted and could be or will be presented to you all in the town. Just a couple of points on that topic. First is, at the beginning of the process, the Commission posted a work plan that involved a number of speaker forums from experts in the industry, so members of the Commission could educate themselves on the matter and make what they desire to be fact-based and data-based decisions on whether or not an ordinance was necessary, and if so, the wording of an ordinance. I thought those were great conversations about different experts that could be brought in, including probably the preeminent experts, which would be Maine's own Board of Pesticide Control officials. But none of those forums actually ended up occurring, or if they did, at least I should say, if they did, they weren't publicly held. The second being that the Commission reviewed a draft ordinance for the first time publicly in their last meeting on June 13th, which I believe is, at least what they said, was the last meeting before needing to submit a proposed ordinance to the Board of Selectmen for that November resident vote. That draft hadn't been seen before and included some reporting requirements for commercial applicators that drastically exceed the state of Maine's own reporting requirements, and includes a provision for a notification system specific to the town of Kennebunkport despite the fact that there is a state of Maine notification system that's already up and running. So in that meeting, when the draft was first released, first time anyone had seen it, publicly at least, only 10 minutes were allotted to public comment. 4 people wanted to comment publicly, so we had to split that time among 4 individuals. And so the reason I wanted to just comment here today was that commercial applicators and the products we use are already regulated by both the state and the federal level. And the process by which the commission's ordinance has been drafted, I don't feel has had a lot of opportunity for input from outside experts or public comment, and it concerns me because it directly impacts our business and the staff that we employ. And that's all I wanted to say, so thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Palmer. And we have not seen that yet, so I appreciate your comments and your concerns, and perhaps you can come back either in person or via Zoom in the future as we work through this process.
Happy to. I'll be more on top of future meetings, so be delighted to be there in person.
All right, thank you. Have a nice evening.
You as well.
We have others in the audience?
Michael Dunley, you can speak.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can.
Yes.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yes.
Great, thank you for having me. My name is Michael Dunley, Abenaki Way. I'd also like to voice a few concerns regarding the Conservation Commission's forthcoming pesticide ordinance. I'm not a company or commercial applicator. I'm speaking from a resident / homeowner / taxpayer perspective. Like the previous commenter, I've joined all the Conservation Commission meetings since last fall when they began this campaign. And I think impartial observers can see that the members are, as one might expect, anti-pesticide activists. In fact, a description they've used themselves. But they haven't really presented any substantive reports of environmental or human harm during the meetings with real data to link it to what are heavily regulated, sensibly applied, tick, mosquito, lawn treatments. The products and services in question are really widely available and already regulated extensively, federal level EPA, state level Board of Pesticide Control. And these are valuable products and services to people and property alike. So while this year's revision 1, as they call it, at least what we saw in the last meeting of the proposed ordinance, it doesn't yet propose or include any bans. I think their discussions during the last 6-7 months leave little doubt about the end game. I believe if this passes in coming years, that they will push for what most people will consider extreme bans on these products and services, like towns like South Portland and Kennebunkport have. But one of the more intrusive provisions in what's really on the table now, in their current proposal that I want to speak to tonight, is that companies, commercial applicators, these folks that residents hire to take care of their property and lawn, would be strictly required to report down to the specific address which legal and heavily regulated products and services residents are choosing to purchase for their own private property, property they're trying to protect and maintain, and for which they pay taxes. So the term I used in the last meeting, a big brother fertilizer pesticide database for private property that includes specific addresses along with which products and services I purchased and from whom, is, in my opinion, a gross overreach and beyond the Conservation Commission mission scope. And I think it can only result in some heavy-handed use. We know the Conservation Commission's point of view on these products. I think them having this data, it can only result in them targeting certain residents, certain properties, where the data is going to get out and cause neighbor against neighbor. And I just think it's an overreach and beyond scope. And that's my concern, and I'm just speaking to what we last saw, and I voiced those same concerns to the commission regarding this intrusive overreach into private data. Thank you for letting me speak.
Thank you, Michael. Is there anyone else in the audience?
No other hands in the audience.
Okay, moving on. Number 4, consider consent. Oh, I'm sorry, Nina. My apologies, I had a little tunnel vision there.
I'm going to take a few minutes. I'm Nina Perlmutter. I'm a resident of Kennebunkport. I'm not going to say how long because I have some things to say about residency. I love living here. I love the people here. I think it's a great working town, but there are some issues. And I watched the video of the last Board of Selectmen meeting. Mr. Spang and several others who are landscapers, and I understand their feelings on this subject, and I'm going to bring it up again, not only as a resident, but as an attorney. There were some things that were brought up that were completely irrelevant to the issue. One of it was time of residency in this town. It seems to me an awful lot of people get up and say, I've been a resident of this town for 20 years, or my family's been on here for 4 generations, or blah, blah, blah. Okay, well, I have a family that goes back before the Revolutionary War and was still sitting on the land that we originally had. So I'm going to tell you right now that that's absolutely irrelevant to this issue. It doesn't matter whether you're a resident of 1 day or 200 years. You have the same rights, and you should be listened to the same way. The other thing that keeps coming up with people who, and hardworking people who work around town, is that I'm a working person, and I have rights, and so forth and so on, and I may be able to push the laws a little bit. That's not true. I don't care how hard you work. I've been working since I was 13. I get up at 6:30 in the morning, and sometimes I don't finish till 10. I get up sometimes at 3 in the morning for hearings over in Europe that go on for 2 and 3 hours, and I have to be there for them. Everyone is usually a hard-working person. We all have very busy lives. We have children. We all work hard. And I don't think that one working group should be prejudiciously biased by the Board of Selectmen. I don't think they should have any prejudice toward them over anybody else who lives in this town. When you compare things like they did at that meeting, like construction vehicles, moving vans, delivery vehicles, and tree workers with landscapers, you're comparing apples to oranges. It's not the same. A moving vehicle with furniture has to be close to the site where they're downloading or uploading furniture. They're not going to be there forever. It's a one-time situation. A tree worker has to be close to the trees that are taken down. I know that because I've had 9 of them taken down on my property this year. We've had a lot of mature and declining trees that were going to fall on my house or my neighbors' houses. They had to be on my driveway. They had to be close to those trees. A construction vehicle has to be at the construction site. We all know that, and they can have permits to do that and put down cones, so forth, given leeway by the police force. There's no question about that. They have to be at the construction site. Landscapers are a different type of situation. There's not a one-time thing. They come in the spring, and they go through the summer, and they go through the fall. And they go through there sometimes twice a week at somebody's house. Or if you want to take a comparison of what I see on Lock Street and Oak Street and West Street, there is a landscaper vehicle there every single day, sometimes more than one. Okay? They're there all the time. They have trucks. They have big trucks with trailers. That's not your problem. It's not the town's problem. It's their problem. Years ago, landscapers would show up and they'd have one pickup truck and a ramp, and they'd bring a lawnmower down and they'd work, and they'd be in your driveway. They didn't obstruct the street. Now they want big trucks, which when they park on the side of the road, breaks up the asphalt on the side of the road, ruining the roads. And they have trailers, and they hire kids that don't know how to park, that don't know the ordinances, and don't know how to back up a trailer. That's not your problem. It's their problem that the streets are narrow and they take on that client and they can't park in their driveway. 2 days ago, on Lock Street, I was taking my husband home for a doctor's appointment, and I came down Lock Street to get to my conference call, and I couldn't get through. Well, I could get through. There was a landscaper's truck that was obstructing 3/4 of Lock Street, right in the middle. There were trees on either side. It had not bothered to pull over to park. It had one cone out. I had the choice of driving well over on my neighbor's lawn to get by, or driving only partly on my neighbor's lawn and squashing their cone. I chose to squash their cone. I needed to get home. Yesterday, I came down and there was a landscaper on Lock Street. And I said to him, there's no parking on Lock Street. And we had a little conversation. And he said, I'll back my trailer into the house. And I said, that's fine, thank you. And he did. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. Some of them tell me that I've been harassing them. Some of them call me names. I don't care. If you have an ordinance and you don't enforce it, you make scofflaws out of people. I don't take arguments that I've done this all my life and I can park wherever I want, okay? If the ordinance says something and there's enforcement on it, which our ordinances have, then it should be enforced for everyone. The only permission you give is for something like one-time use, like construction, a moving van, maybe a delivery truck, or tree work. I don't see why a landscaper, because they have a giant truck and a trailer now, and they don't know how to park, and their kids don't know how to back up a trailer, or the client's driveway is full of cars and they might run over a kid. I'm sorry, I don't buy that. Has a right to obstruct the street. In fact, the police chief said it was a criminal act. The voters of this town set that ordinance. They voted to approve it and the enforcement. And I know in past times, I've heard some of the Board of Selectmen say, we made exemptions for the landscapers. Well, you can't make any more exemptions for them legally than you can tell them they don't have to stop at stop signs. I'm sorry, that takes the voters' approval. And I'm willing to go through and try to find a solution. In fact, one of the landscapers did come up and suggest a solution, and you started to naysay it, but actually it's something that could be looked at in some areas, in that have a designated site where a landscaper can legally pull over with a truck and trailer and drive those $10,000 lawnmowers down to the client's house and mow the lawn. Something that's close by. Have an area in Goose Rocks Beach where they're legally allowed to park and move into their clients. That's not something that's so unrealistic in many areas. And I'd be willing to go along with that. There are some areas where it may not be possible. But I'm going to tell you this as an attorney, and I've said it before, I have a 90-year-old husband. We've already had an ambulance in once because he couldn't breathe. If I found that an ambulance was obstructed by a landscaper's vehicle and I couldn't get my husband to the hospital before serious harm was done, if you give exception to these people and the landscaper, and I take action against the landscaper, and he says in his defense, I was allowed an exemption, well, then my only action is to implead the town and possibly personally every single one of the Board of Selectmen as a defendant in that case. That's what you're setting yourself up for. This is a really serious concern. I've heard many other people voice it. I'm sure there's a solution somewhere, and I would urge you very strongly to try to find one that works, or at least 90% of the time. There will always be landscapers that I have encountered that say, well, I've always parked here and I'm going to do it again, vote for Trump, and they walk off. You know, I've heard that one. I've been called a liberal. I consider that a badge of honor. You know, but I'm sure there's a solution here somewhere. Okay?
Thank you.
And one other absolutely unrelated topic, I have to say I am disappointed with the Board of Selectmen because of the pandemic situation. And I know it's been brought up. There was something that you could do for residents that would get them outdoors, that would be for residents only, that would have helped them a lot, and still could be done next year, was to put aside an acre or two of land. You could easily do it temporarily on the 84-acre plot for community gardens. That's something that gets people out, talking to each other, out in the fresh air, which they enjoy. I've been in community gardens before as a student. I've rented plots, and I know it works really well, and it's a great thing to do. But I haven't seen any action by this board to move forward with that. Maybe I've missed it, but that's something else that I just wanted to mention. Okay, I'm done with my pedestal.
Thank you.
Thank you, Nina. Anyone in the audience? Any hands raised, David?
David James has his hand raised.
Put him up, please.
Dave James, you can speak.
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
We can.
Okay, simple question for Becky. Based on the recent revaluations, has a new tax mill rate been established yet, and what is it?
Okay, I don't know, hopefully you can hear me. Yeah, I think you can. No, a new tax rate has not been established yet. Every year we establish that at the end of July, right before commitment, once numbers are finalized. So until all the informal reviews are done, we will not know what the final value is and cannot put that into our mathematical equation and determine a tax rate at this point. We are anticipating it going down, but that's pretty much all I know.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, David. Anyone else? Bueller?
No one else on Zoom.
All right, now we're going to move on to item number 4. Consider consent agreement for 133 Arundel Road, owned by Martha and Michael Kelly. I believe Warner, you'd like to speak to that?
Good evening. So, as you all may recall, at our last meeting, the board discussed the consideration of a consent agreement with the Kellys at 133 Arundel Road. This is specific in regards to a setback violation for a detached garage. So based on our discussion that we had at that last meeting, I've been working with the town attorney, and we've drafted and put forward the stipulated judgment and the consent agreement regarding the setback violation for that permitted garage. And so at this time, we're just, I'm looking for for authorization from the Board of Selectmen to move forward, with the filing of that paperwork, with district court, so that we can move forward with that judgment.
Everything's in order?
I have also been, I've been working with the Kellys. We have a number of other issues on the property that are outside of the scope of the permitted garage. But, we've been communicating regularly, and we're working together to address those issues outside of a consent agreement, through the building permit process. So,
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Unanimous.
great. Thank you.
Thank you, Warner.
Yep.
Thank you, folks.
Yes. Good luck.
Thank you very much for
Yeah.
making this as painless as possible.
It's a real estate transaction. It's never painless. Yes.
If I'd known this 23 years ago, I would have pushed hard for the time.
Yeah,
Well, hopefully you get some resolution soon.
you bet.
Okay, moving on. Number 5, appointment of Climate Action Plan Task Force. So, if you remember, we talked about developing an ad hoc committee.
And Yanina's going to present.
Oh, Yanina's gonna do this. I guess that wasn't in my notes. I'm sorry, Yanina. I don't want to steal your thunder.
Okay, hello everyone. Yanina Nicholas, assistant to the town manager. Can you hear me there? Awesome. Okay, so in your packets you will find memo for appointing of ad hoc task force for climate action plan. As you might remember, a few meetings ago, we asked you to allow us to send out notifications to the residents of the town for them to apply for this committee, for this task force, and you approved it, and you asked for this committee to be diverse. So we sent out those notifications, and we have received 5 applications. And those applicants come with diverse backgrounds and with different interests, which I believe would meet the criteria. But also, one of the applicants is John Dykstra, who at the time was not on the Board of Selectmen, but now is on the Board of Selectmen. So the staff would recommend appointing 4 applicants and possibly appointing John Dykstra as a representative from the board. But also, if the board would consider having more people on the task force, we would love that, and it would be great to have somebody else as well. It's up to you. And also, lastly, there are 2 staff members that would be liaison for this task force, Board of Selectmen, and the experts. So there are Eli Rubin, who is the community planner, and me, Yanina Nicholas, assistant to the town manager. And I think it's great because we are from 2 different departments, so that also would cover this diversity in the task force because we would bring different ideas to this. So as I said, the staff would recommend appointing those people, and I'm open to any questions you might have.
Well, I'd like to participate in that myself.
Very good.
So, I've been involved with climate stuff for a long time.
Closer to the mic.
I've been involved with climate stuff for a long time, and I would like to be involved in this. So,
Great, that would be great. And John, would you still want to
Yes,
do this?
I would be
Okay.
pleased to be involved. Yeah.
Great.
Do I have a motion to approve, let's see here, we have Jen Armstrong, Jamie Houts, Pam Morgan, and Jono Azzaloni as members, and Mike Weston and John Dykstra as Board of Selectmen representatives, and Yanina Nicholas and Eli Rubin.
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Congratulations.
Great, thank you so much.
Yanina.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck with that.
When's the first meeting?
Good luck.
She'll send you an email.
Yeah.
They'll be sending out a notice, I think, touching base tomorrow with people on when dates in July that would work.
Perfect.
Okay, moving on. Item number 6, post office request to move the mail drop-off box. Did you want to speak to that, Lori?
Sure. So I have been in conversations with the post office and postmaster about the parking issues that we've been experiencing at the post office after their construction. The post office has increased the amount of vehicles in their parking lot because they have new mail delivery trucks as well as employee vehicles that are parked there. And so as part of their concerns on safety and with the amount of traffic that they see flow through the parking lot, they are concerned with their mail drop-off. So you can see on the slide that their mail drop-off is located at the exit to the post office parking lot alongside North Street. And what they're saying is that with all the traffic going through the lot, and especially by the loading ramp where there is a lot of in and out traffic, they would like to see the mail drop box moved across North Street. So the current location is on post office property. This would place the mailbox within the town right-of-way. And it would be in a location where there is a small parking area in between a horseshoe driveway. And haven't had any conversations with that property owner to date, but it would require the removal of 2 parking spaces. So I did notify the postmaster that I would talk to the board about it. I invited him to this meeting as well, and he's not here. But this is the request from the postmaster.
I have a question. Have they opened up their, have they opened up their parking lot yet for traffic?
So they have opened up their parking lot, and they have allocated a few spots in the front to public parking.
I have a question. Did they consider placing the box just to the left as you enter the parking lot? Because that would still be on the driver's side. It would keep it on their property, and it would be right there to your left as you turn into the parking lot.
Yeah, they were hoping to remove all that traffic from the parking lot in totality. We did talk about whether there were other spaces, and we did a site walk. I think his goal is to remove the traffic from the parking lot altogether.
So we lose 2 parking spots.
Right.
I've never had, other than them locking the parking lot for a year, I've never had a problem driving through there and putting it. It's inconvenient when they had it locked because in their infinite wisdom, they left the box where it was. So if you're driving your car, you had to park your car, get out and go put stuff in it. I don't see that we need to give up 2 parking spots to them. I think there's no, how many accidents have there been there in all the years that it's been in operation? I don't think there's been any.
I am unaware of any.
Yeah, same here. So I would say, look, they need to suck it up and let people patronize what we're entitled to, which is we own the citizens own the post office, and the post office box needs to be available to us. Period. We don't need to give up parking lots because they think they're inconvenienced.
I happen to agree with Mike.
I agree with Mike.
Well, then I guess we will take no action. We will not have a public hearing unless somebody puts forward a motion.
Nope.
Okay. Moving on.
Wait a minute. So
What?
how are we going to handle this?
We don't have to.
Well,
Well, we're gonna
So
have to
I
deal with the
will
post
communicate to the postmaster your general concerns, and I will leave it in his ball court.
He can always come back to us if he has a better
And good
proposal.
luck with that.
Yeah. What are they gonna do? Stop delivering our mail for a week?
So
They'd never do
listen,
that.
listen.
Oh, yeah, right, about 9 days or
Yeah.
whatever.
no.
Okay, moving on before I get myself in trouble. Number 7, street opening permit for Dearborn Construction on Old Cape Road. Oh, there's Chris.
How's everyone doing?
Good. Hey, Chris.
Pursuant to a notification that we sent out to all the butters on Old Cape Road to let them know that we were going to be reconstructing the road, we did this basically with the intention of reducing intrusions into the new pavement in the future. So this is a vacant lot. It's just down from the Legion Hall. He does intend to develop that lot, so he would like to stub, a water stub onto the lot so that he can take off of that at a future date.
Is that on the left-hand side going towards Route 9?
It is on the left-hand side toward Route 9. It's in between the house that was newly constructed this past year and the Legion Hall.
That's really a tight spot.
It is. It is.
Wow, is there a lot? There's a lot there?
There is.
There is.
Wow.
There's a building in there, right? Old building? Is that the one?
Well, it's in between the Legion Hall and the
on the left.
newly constructed
Not on the right,
house.
it's on the left.
Oh, the new, okay, I know, yeah.
Yes.
It's a pretty small lot.
That's a
at
pretty
least from
small
the
lot.
street frontage.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Do I have a motion from the board?
I have a question.
Oh,
first.
go ahead, Mike.
When we were doing short-term rentals, I had a habit of, when we were getting a lot of encouragement from people from away, I took upon myself to look up their home addresses just to verify and so forth. I can't find the applicant's street anywhere in Ocala, Florida. So I think that there may be a wrong address here. And I think it's not Cottage Street, I think it might be College Street. So I just would like to have that correct, if we have to get in touch with them or whatever.
Well, we can table this until we have a correct
I don't
application.
think we need to table it, because I know where he lives in
Oh.
town. No, mine's not working? Folks at home can't hear you. Well, that's good. He lives in my neighborhood, but I can ask him. I don't think, very good guy. I mean, nothing. I just think it's unless there's a new street down there, it's just a clerical error. So I don't think you need to table it.
But it should be proper.
Yeah, I think if it's a mistake or a misstatement, we need to get it corrected.
Right.
Yep, that's all.
So when are we gonna redo Old Cape Road?
So the crew has been down there now. We've changed out some of the culverts down there, and we're actually doing some ditching down by Kenneth Lane now to help that, improve that situation. We do have 60 days after we gave notification before we can actually pave it. We're currently talking with Pike right now to work everything that we have in our paving plan into their plan. But I would say from the time that we actually reclaim that road, cement base the areas that we need to cement base, it'll be probably mid-August to late August before we get pavement down.
Good. Well, then do I have a motion?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor? Motion passes. Thank you. Item number 8, consider an amendment to Chapter 240-7.14 of the Land Use Ordinance regarding residential rental accommodations or roomers permit. Hi, Warner.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi, Warner.
Warner,
So-
can you just point the mic up, because you're taller?
Is that better? So as we discussed at our last meeting, we have a potential warrant article that we're bringing forward. This comes from the Zoning Board of Appeals and the Codes and Planning Office. So really what this is an administrative change to how we deal with residential rental accommodations. Right now, that process is such that it goes through the Zoning Board of Appeals as a hearing. And then, of course, code enforcement does an inspection and issues the final license. The board has requested that, that the process just be shifted over to the code office and takes the ZBA out of the process entirely. So it's a pretty straightforward change, and we're looking to have that considered for the November warrant.
And it's not a huge increase on your time and effort.
No, we already do the work anyways, so it's actually it's a reduction in process, so doesn't affect us one way or the other. So
Thank you, Warner.
Great, thank
We don't
you.
need to take any action on this evening. Okay, moving on. Discussion of our summer schedule.
So the past few years, you have taken to a reduced summer schedule, having the first meeting of the month be a regular meeting and the second meeting of the month being a warrant signing only. Of course, if something of emergency nature or, with a deadline you have met. So I'm just checking in to see what you would like for your summer schedule. I did put in a calendar showing our meetings in July would be July 14th and 28th, and in August, it would be August 11th and 25th.
I'm fine with it.
That works for me.
Sounds good to me.
So we're saying we'll just have an in-person meeting the first week?
Yeah.
14th
And then
and August
a
11th.
warrant signing on the second
Okay,
meeting.
it's okay for me.
That what I'm hearing, Lori?
That's
Yeah.
what I'm hearing.
Okay.
Yep.
You don't need a motion. Do you
Do
need a
we need-
motion for that? I don't have that.
We don't need,
No.
I will set your agenda appropriately. I mean,
Thank you.
you'll still have a meeting, so you're meeting the requirements of the ordinance, but.
okay.
Very good. Okay, item number 10, quit claim deed on 89 Wiles District Road and 49 Turbert's Creek Road.
So earlier this year, we did foreclose on property in town at 89 Wiles District as well as 49 Turbert's Creek Road. As we do with all foreclosures, we continue to contact the property owner, trying to make arrangements. Staff was successful at that, and those taxes, fees, sewer bills, interest, everything have been paid in full for both properties, and so staff is recommending that the selectmen authorize a quitclaim deed.
Make a motion to authorize a quick claim
Second.
for 89 Wild District Road and 49 Tilbit's Creek.
I have a first and a second. All those in favor? Mike? Yep, thank you. Okay, motion passes. Item number 11, consider treasurer disbursement warrant policy. This basically allows just one of us to sign the warrants, correct?
The payroll
Yes,
warrants.
the payroll. This is something we do every year, John. This is just a little bit of housekeeping. Do I have a motion?
I think the only amendment that you notified me of is we need to replace Patrick Briggs' name with John Dykstra.
Oh, yes, yes.
I'll make a motion to adopt the treasurer's disbursement warrant policy.
Second.
All those in favor? Motion passes. Number 12, consider appointment of interim treasurer. Lori, would you like to?
So Denise Brown, last official day was last Friday. And so she is still helping us out over the next month, coming in about once a week to assist and follow up on financial issues while we continue to seek a finance director. So I think in the interim of appointing a new finance director, it would make sense to appoint myself as the town treasurer so that we can attend to any town business that needs to.
Okay, do I have a motion to appoint Lori as the interim treasurer?
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor? Motion passes.
Are we out on a search now?
We are. In fact, we did some interviewing today.
Okay, now let's get to the good stuff. Number 13, accept a $100 anonymous donation dedicated to the general nurse's account.
So moved.
Second.
With
All
lots of
those-
gratitude.
All those in favor? Motion passes. Thank you very much. Other business, Mike,
None.
John,
None?
Alan,
Thank you.
None.
Lori,
I'm all set.
and I have none. Somebody want to move the warrants?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor? Warrants passed. Okay, item number 16, we are going to go into executive session. Oh, I need the other copy of this.
So I am going to ask the board to consider doing item 17 first because the town attorney is not quite available yet.
Okay, then we will go into executive session number 2 first. which would be MRSA 1, subsection 405, Chapter 6, discussion of consideration of the use of real property owned by the town. Shall we convene in the Leather Lounge?
So we need a motion, a second, and a vote.
For the leather
Motion,
lounge?
motion for executive session.
Second.
All's in favor? All right. And to those of you in the audience and at home, we will be taking no action this evening when we come out of executive sessions.
But we'll be back to go into the next executive session.
Okay.
One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. One, two, three, four, five, 6, 7.
I can, but you're dimmer. All right. Hi, I'm Steve Price, and today I'm going to read one of my favorite short stories, The Man Who Saw Through Heaven by Wilbur Daniel Steele.
Hi, my name is Bart Weand. I'm going to read two short stories today written by Dorothy Parker. She was
Hello, I'm Karen Stathopoulos, and I'm going to be reading two stories today. The first is by James Thurber. I did my thesis on James Thurber when I was at Bates, so I particularly love him. And one of my Hello, I'm Karen Stathopoulos, and today I'm going to be reading some writing by MFK Fisher, who is one of my very favorite writers. And my husband
Hello, I'm Valerie Reed, and today I will be reading Desiree's Baby by Kate Chopin.
How do you do? My name is Joe Foster. And today I thought, why not read a little Canadian something, since we seem to be flooded with Canadians. Stephen Leacock was born in the mid-1800s.
Hello, I'm Karen Stathopoulos, and I'm going to be reading some excerpts from Annie Dillard's An American Childhood.
Hello, my name is Cynthia Fraser Graves. In 2015, on my 71st birthday, I heard Henry David Thoreau say to me, "Write to me." I walked around a little bit in this bookstore I was in. I had been looking at a picture of the great saint. And when I came back, he said it again. He said, "Write to me." Well, right there and then I said, I will. He was one of my favorite people, is one of my favorite people, forget the past tense, For 1 year, I wrote to Henry David Thoreau every single morning. I started a blog called The Year with Henry, 2 times, and with the I enjoyed her reading something called Epiphany in the Beans. And
We're hot, okay. I declare the Board of Selectmen out of executive session, and we are going to enter into another executive session per MRSA 1, subsection 405, chapter 6E, for consultation with town attorney to discuss legal rights and duties. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Okay. Back to our
Back to the leather
executive
room.
room.
Hi, my name is Bart Weand, and I'm going to read you a chapter from a story, a chapter from a book called Notes from a Small Island by Bill Bryson.
Hello, I'm Valerie Reed, and today I'd like to read a chapter to you from this wonderful memoir by Rick Bragg called All Over But the Shoutin'. Hello, I'm Valerie Reed, and today I have two short stories I would like to share with you, and they are both about getting older. The first is called Lizzie's Last Stand.
Hi, I'm Bob Danslow, and today I'm going to read from a book by Rick Bragg, who happens to be a person that numerous people in our little group here has kind of discovered. And so we have a number of different stories by him. But today I'm going to read one from his about a Speckled Beauty is the name of the book by Rick Bragg, and it's about anybody who's ever owned a rescue dog would identify with this story. But he writes in this wonderful Alabama fashion, and so here we go with Speckled Beauty.
You're on now.
Okay. I declare the Board of Selectmen out of executive session. No action was taken this evening. Item number 18, adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.